Iran warned on February 1 that it could retaliate against any U.S. strike on its vital infrastructure by disrupting key international waterways and targeting American forces across the region, according to remarks by a lawmaker carried by Iranian media. Salar Velayatmadar, a member of Parliament's National Security and Foreign Policy Committee, told Didban Iran that Iran would not be forced to retreat from its positions by military threats. Velayatmadar said, "Today our finger is on the trigger, and if the enemy makes a mistake, it will see that the blow it receives will be much more severe than before." He warned that U.S. bases in countries around Iran would be targeted if Washington puts a foot wrong, adding that the entire region would be drawn into the conflict. Velayatmadar dismissed U.S. President Donald Trump's recent statements about sending aircraft carriers and very big, very powerful ships toward Iran as bluster, arguing that moving warships closer to Iran showed the United States did not intend to fight, as such vessels would become clear targets. He added that he saw no sign of war unless the United States committed what he described as a suicidal act, warning that any attack would backfire and trigger global consequences due to Iran's control over strategic waterways. Meanwhile, Tehran City Council head Mehdi Chamran said on February 1 that no protesters were killed in recent unrest and described those who died as moharib, a term Iranian officials use for people they accuse of armed rebellion against God. According to documents reviewed by Iran International, more than 36,500 Iranians were killed by security forces during the January 8-9 crackdown on nationwide protests, making it the deadliest two-day protest massacre in history. Separately, Persian Gulf countries led by Saudi Arabia have warned Iran they could intervene if they come under heavy attack as part of a confrontation between Tehran and Washington, Israel's Khan public broadcaster reported on February 1. According to the report, the countries told Iran they do not want to be drawn into a U.S.-Iran clash and passed direct messages stating they will not allow the United States to use their territory or airspace to launch an attack on Iran. A source from the Saudi royal family was quoted as saying that if Iran or its allies carry out significant strikes on Persian Gulf countries or on U.S. bases located there, it would be difficult for them to remain silent, potentially leading to their involvement. The source added that they preferred pressure on Iran to remain economic rather than escalate into broad military action, Khan reported. In a separate report on January 31, Israel's Khan public broadcaster said Israel and the United States are operating in full coordination and that Israel expects to receive sufficient advance warning from Washington in the event of a U.S. strike against the Islamic Republic. According to that report, Israeli Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir held intensive discussions with senior U.S. officials over the weekend amid U.S. preparations for a possible attack on Iran. Meanwhile, an Iranian official told Reuters on February 1 that media reports claiming the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps planned to hold a military exercise in the Strait of Hormuz were incorrect. Iran's state-run Press TV had reported on January 29 that the force would carry out drills in the strategic waterway on February 1 and February 2.